It's ironical, isn't it? We are sitting in a country where 250 million plus workforce, they are looking for employment. And I add to that the pseudo-employed people who are so-called employed, but they are not actually. So we are sitting in a country where there are so many unemployed, pseudo-employed people, and on others' hand, stalwarts of industry sitting here, we are discussing that there is a need and there are challenges in finding them, right? There are a lot of gaps. The gaps are because of a lot of diversity that India possesses, the good and bad, all of it. The geodiversity, yes, large country we are, and then there are ethnicity, diversity, ethnic food, and everything is so different. Social, economic challenges that we have at various places. There are underprivileged states of India like Bihar, UP, Odisha and West Bengals, from where the actual migration of this workforce takes place, right? So they are sitting there. And then sitting here in Mumbai and Bangalore, we are looking for the people at our places, especially when you're talking about last mile, and we were just discussing offline also for a bit. You need people who have maybe a bike or license and they are on the go who can do that. So how do you solve all of this together? One very important thing we all have been grabbing about and it's very critical is technology. Technology in place is one thing that is very important when you are talking about a larger diaspora like India, right? So hence at Meraqui we have tried to create a kind of end-to-end platform from sourcing to actual deployment and finally ensuring their compliance and everything that we're talking about. So this is one part of it. Then the second part is where a lot of government programs have come in picture. If you talk about, and we need to leverage on that. I won't say they are really effective right now. The skill schemes like DDU-GKY or the PMKVY that programs are running, sorry to say, and maybe some of us will agree who understand that those programs are not giving the results that we were expecting. So what we are saying is that, let's say, we have, for example, gig workers requirement, or we have requirements for anything that is in 3PL. But tomorrow going forward, rightly said by Mr. Sunil that probably it will take 5-10 years for the policies to actually get implemented and be effective. So we need to gear up for that. As a large country, as an elephant, it takes time to move. So what we can do, we can work closely with these programs and start creating a new breed of candidates. A breed of candidates who are pretty ready for this logistics sector as a whole. All of these possibilities exist only when you work again in a technology environment, in an environment where government can also congenially work closely on these platforms. And thankfully, a lot of efforts have been taken by our great Prime Minister lately, wherein the ministries, morning we were discussing, and there were 13 different ministries who are governing this logistics sector, right? Thankfully, it is coming around government easier for us also to communicate and talk. So all of these things have to come together. That is one important aspect. And then the one very important thing he was also talking about, and we all understand, even if there is a workforce who is working with us, there are problems on absenteeism, right? People are not present always. How do we solve for that? How many times do we really treat them like, I'm sorry, but we all are in that industry. They are like numbers for us, right? But they are unfortunately humans, or fortunately, whatever you want to call it. So how do you consider that? Until you consider that, until you bring that picture in the scheme of things, you won't have them fully with you. And that gap can be abreaced again using AI a lot. The things of gamification, making them hero of the month, creating some kind of point system like हम लोग अपने credit card में use करते हैं. All of these things can come together to make them feel like they are also belonging to the entire organization and the scheme of
employee acknowledgement, you're saying.
Right. And we are there as technology partners to help facilitate this entire process. We can do it. It is very possible. If a candidate is working at Reliance site, who is one of my clients, for 1.5 years, he is day in, day out, coming 100%. I believe that he is credit worthy. I can give him some loan. So big players like Amazon and all, we all have to come together to think around these lines. Maybe in long term, maybe it's not tomorrow's solution, but we all have to someday sit and think and really act on these aspects to be able to have them with us.
Perfect.